Um, okay, guys, I'm going to hop right to it because it's 5:02. So a couple of quick announcements. If you go into the Facebook group, we put a couple of save the dates in there. So we are going to do 2 in-person Fitme events this year, one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. These are kind of like coached weekends for you. It's kind of to take the things that you're working on and to put it on steroids. So the people that attend are going to like leave that weekend just on fire with knowledge, with, practicing stuff. Like
walking out, not really eating, choked, you can't swallow.
Whoop. So it's going to be super fun. So there's one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. The dates are listed in the Facebook group. So check those out. And the other thing that we've got coming up, a save the date that we put in the Facebook group, is every summer we like to focus on movement and activity. And this upcoming, I think, what are we doing? June, Nikki? June. We are doing our first ever Fitme Give Back event. And so what we're going to do is kind of mobilize our community to raise money for some local nonprofits. And so we've got like a group of people inside Fitme who are putting this together. Nikki Miller's been leading the way. And so we're going to do like a virtual event to raise money for some food banks. So check out the Facebook group because there's, save the dates for all of the above in there. And I'm really excited about that. We're actually going to try to do that a couple of times a year, some different ways to raise money for local nonprofits. So before we get started on today's prompt for the week, I'm curious, does anybody have a win from last week who tackled one of the environment pieces? That was your target, to pick one of the pieces of your environment, whether it's your social media, whether it was your pantry, whether it was your closet. Did anybody tackle that and want to share a quick win?
I did, Christy.
All right, go ahead.
It's Nicole. I'm in Southern Maryland. Nicole Hall. I think there's a couple Nicoles here. And I just want to thank you for the push because I cleaned out my closets. So we're redoing our bedrooms. So my little guy's room and our room. I cleaned out my closets. I have 2 lawn and garden size bags full of stuff. One bag is going for trash. Other is the bag I'm going to donate. And I went through all the purses in my closet and just cleaned out the junk that you just leave in there. And found the big win is I found $105 in gift cards. So that's the win. Just the gift cards in the purge. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So you cleaned out a closet and you got rewarded with finding money. Did you spend it already?
Well, no, not yet. I found them. I kind of put them all in a stack today. So I'm going away in a couple of weeks. So I'll use it for that.
I love it. Well, good job tackling your closet. And I wish that I could hide surprise money for all of you guys. What if I like hid surprise money in your pantry or something? And if you just like threw away that last, thing of Oreos underneath, it would be like surprise gift card. Nicole's basically told you that could be possible. Does anyone else have a small win from, who worked on their environment this past week?
I got my bedroom tidied up.
Nice.
And I also got my craft room to a point where I can leave it alone for a couple weeks. And now I'm working on my office.
Sweet. One room at a time. That's the way to go. Kristen, that's awesome. Good work.
Thanks.
I think bedroom can be huge. And I definitely choose bedroom and kitchen as a first place to start for people. If you like wanted to tackle an environmental piece that'll actually impact how you, eat and do your day and exercise, those 2 pieces can be really, really the way to start it. And, you can break those down even smaller. So you don't have to tackle your whole bedroom or your whole kitchen. You could even just do your, a small part of your closet and there's progress, or just maybe one of your junk drawers in your kitchen and there's progress. Sarah Carkey, so funny because all I see is her baby on her screen. It looks like her baby's attending the Fitme family meeting. So this week is, again, we're really hitting the basics here, but this one might be particularly timely if you focused on the 10-day plate challenge that we did, where we kind of took our normal plates and we sort of just upped the energy around it for 10 days. And we're definitely going to do that multiple times. So don't worry. But if what your target is for this week is to think about what has to happen for you on Sundays, Saturdays or Sundays, for your week to go well. So I was having a really good chat with a Fitme member this week, and she was talking about how last week her entire week got thrown off because on Sunday, her husband normally helps with some food prep and he was tied up all day. And he does a lot of the cooking and he's been helping. But because that didn't happen, it actually threw her whole week off. She didn't get as much movement in. She felt sort of like behind the 8 ball all week. Now, she didn't really have to have the week feel like that, but it did because Sunday sort of set the week in motion for her and it didn't happen as it should. So we kind of made a game plan for what are the minimum things that need to happen on Sundays for her to, be able to have a solid week. Now, if you're like, I don't want to do anything on Saturday and Sunday and you are crushing your weeks, then you get to disregard this prompt. But if there is room for improvement in your week, then I want to say that perhaps getting a little bit of prep done on Saturday or Sunday is part of the habits that you have to change. Because listen, if you have a kid and you're sending them to school, or even when you went to school, you got your backpack and all your stuff in your backpack and you went to school. If you didn't have your backpack, you weren't prepared. Right? So it's just like automatic. You send with stuff so that you can be successful. You do a little bit of prep and then you can have a successful day. We do this all the time for other things, but we don't do it for ourselves. We don't do it for taking care of our bodies or our nutrition or our exercise. We assume we're going to pack it and stack it in our really busy week with no preparation at all and think that we're going to be successful. And at the end of the day, again, if you are crushing it, then this doesn't apply to you. But most of us really would benefit from a little bit of planning or prep on the weekends. And so what I want you to think about is not going from 0 to a million. You're not going to spend all weekend prepping for every meal that you're going to eat or having your house perfect or anything like that. But I want you to think about over the past few weeks, if you have had a successful week, what made it successful? What did you do that allowed you to be successful that week? Whether that was you had a grocery order done, whether that was you prepped some chicken in advance, whether it was you washed all your workout clothes. Maybe it was just taking a look at your budget and making sure you had all your ducks in a row so you felt organized. Maybe it's something as simple as chopping up vegetables or having a conversation with your partner about like, what's the agenda for the weekend? Who's going to be where? Maybe it's planning out, what meals you're going to eat. If it's none of the above yet, then we want to try some of these. And what I want each of us to do is figure out what our weekend non-negotiables are. The things that at a minimum have to be done for a successful week. And if you're like, I don't know, that's perfect. That's what we're going to figure out. I want you to figure out what are your weekend non-negotiables. So I'll give you mine as an example. And again, it's not like I can't survive the week without doing this, but I know what a successful week feels like, where these things kind of happen automatically versus one where I constantly feel behind the 8 ball. And if you constantly feel behind the 8 ball and life goes normal, you might make it through. If you are unprepared and life goes sideways, it's going to be a rough week. So here are the couple that I have to do. My workout clothes have to be clean. It's just the story. I'm like a grouch. If I can't find my favorite, leggings and sports bra, then I'm probably not going to do the thing. And so they have to be clean. That happens every single weekend for me if I'm going to have a solid week. The next thing that happens is I have protein thawed. It doesn't always have to be cooked. Cooking's like a bonus, but I have to get it out of the freezer and into the fridge. So that way, like if I have a busy night and I just throw it together, which most of my nights are, it's thawed. If I don't do that, it won't happen. That means I have to think about what I'm going to cook. It takes like 5 minutes. What am I going to cook this week? I take the stuff out of the freezer and I put it in the fridge. That is the other thing that like mandatory, like has to happen for me to be set up for success. The other thing that really helps me is just to be stocked up on my normal like things that I like to have, like my sparkly water and like the veggies that I like, the things that are easy for me, like asparagus that I just like chop in half and throw in the pan. If they are in my house, I'm good to go. So I don't even necessarily have to prep them. The just grocery order has to be made. Those are like my minimums. Those are the minimums for me. Having my workout clothes cleaned, having a grocery order done, and then having some of my proteins out of the freezer and into the fridge. But what I want to think, what I want each person to think about this week and to tell their coach are, what are your minimums that have to happen on a weekend for you to be set into motion to have a good week? You know what my bonus things are if I cook some of that protein, if I boil some eggs, like if I get really organized around my meal plan, but those are bonus. That's like a really good prep. But I want basics. Once you know these in your mind, then it becomes easier. Say you go on travel for the weekend, you come back and it's Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. You're like, oh my God, you know, these are my things. I got to get these done. You don't feel lost and overwhelmed by it. If you are just having a great chill weekend and you're not feeling too motivated, you just want to be lazy, you know, these are my 3 things. I got to get these done. And maybe you have 4, maybe you have 2, whatever it is, that's okay. But you get the point. This sounds simple and basic, but a little prep goes an enormous way during the week, because there's like not one person in Fitme that's not busy. I think that's like one of our defining characteristics, is like everybody who's here is busy and got life to juggle. Whether it's, you know, work stuff, whether it's kids stuff, whether it's extended family stuff, like we all have a lot on our plates. And so setting ourselves up for success on the weekend with just a little bit of prep takes a ton of stress off. And then again, I know I've talked about this a lot lately. Sometimes it's just the mental things that we do that set the course for the week or the day or whatever. When we talk about like making your bed, Ellen, you gave me that wonderful book and I love it so much. And, you know, it's about just having a little win, and that changes the course of your entire day when you make your bed, because it's like the simple thing that you can follow through on. If you make your bed, then okay, the rest of the day is more doable. It's like that for your week. So if you have your minimums and you get them done, then it changes the course of your entire week, because then you're like, okay, well, I got it rocking. Getting my workout in tomorrow, not as hard, you know, following through on the protein that I pulled out, not as hard, you know, it's just more doable. So I would love to talk about this. If you already have like a really excellent prep, then, you know, we can talk about how to make it even better. You're not completely off the hook, even though I said like you definitely are ahead of the game. I'll show you, Kristen, I'll grab the book in just a second. Ellen gave it to me as a present. I'll show you, it's right around the corner. I'll grab it. You're not off the hook if you already have an excellent prep. I want you to even think about how to make it better, and talk to your coach about that. But let's talk about this particular topic. Does anybody have something that they know is on their non-negotiable list to set their week in motion for a solid week? Does anybody really struggle with Saturday, Sunday prep? We can talk about that too. It doesn't have to all be positives.
So the scenario that you just said of like having a really busy week and being gone and coming home and it's Sunday evening, and then what do you need prep to happen this weekend for us? So we got home late last night. I had a clinic today and we just got home. My son just farted. Could you hear that? Like straight up super loud fart. Sorry. I was like, is that what's vibrating? Oh, it's him farting. Anyways, and one of the things that I knew I needed to do, when we got home from church, I did a huge sheet pan of potatoes just to have a super easy carb. And then we prep meat. We prep like a good amount of meat, and then a breakfast egg bake, a huge egg bake. And I am like the laziest egg bake person. I get like 4 giant bags of veggies, whether it's like spinach, zucchini, bell peppers, onions, whatever, and I dump it in a pan, and then I mix it with sausage or bacon and throw in egg whites and some eggs. And then as long as I have that, I feel like I know I have breakfast. So that's one of my non-negotiables for sure on Sunday nights.
Good job, Amy. Good job, like running an event today and then getting home and doing some prep to get squared away for the week with a gassy baby. This is the book, Make Your Bed. It's a Navy admiral who actually gave this as a keynote address. In this book, it breaks it down. And I love it, Ellen. Anybody else have a thing that they know that they do? Crystal?
I would say either on Saturday or Sunday morning at the latest, I make a tentative meal plan for the week. So it's just meals for my family. And I just write them down. It's not like Monday we're going to eat this and Tuesday we're going to eat this. It's nothing like that. It's just what I know I have in stock, what I know I have available, what I can make straight out of my fridge, straight out of my pantry that requires nothing. And if it does, then I obviously put that on a list and stop by the store and whatnot. But that's like the one way that I make sure that we have dinner every single night. And my other thing for the week is, I know this is not original, but we do Taco Tuesday. So everyone knows on Tuesday, it's some form of tacos. Don't ask me what we're eating. It's tacos of some form. Whether it be chicken fajita or barbacoa or beef tacos or whatever. So, and then I usually cook another meal on Tuesday as well. So I'll cook like a double dinner just to have more food for the rest of the week. But that's probably my biggest non-negotiable, is having my meal plan for the week written or in my phone or somewhere where I can go, what am I cooking again this week? Oh, that's right. You know?
Yes. I think pretty much anything that we say is a priority deserves some level of planning. So if you're saying that like taking care of yourself and eating better and, you know, doing all this is a priority, then it deserves some level of planning. Even if it's like what you said, Crystal, doesn't have to be super mapped out, but just a sketched out list. These are the main meals for dinner. It definitely doesn't happen on autopilot, but I think because it's like sort of our day-to-day, we think that it should. Good one.
I think one of the things that I do, 2 things I do on Sundays, most Sundays. Number one is being on this call. If I am on this call, my head is already started into the week ahead. So it's sort of like, it's like this soft open for my week, and I'm already like considering things, you know? And the second thing is we'll sit down with our weekly calendar and kind of identify sticky spots. Like, okay, Thursday is balls to the wall. There is no time to make food that day. So food has to be prepped prior to that day. And then, like you said, like thaw the proteins. It's sort of sitting down and looking at the week ahead kind of forces us to at least have a rough plan for dinners, you know, and like, just kind of, it's like a snowball effect, you know? So those are like the 2 non-negotiables, the sitting down, me and Boo, sitting down, looking at it. And then, being on this call. I think when I do those 2 things, my week is better.
Mm-hmm. I like it, Molly. That's good. I think you'd like address 2 things. Like one, coordinating with the people in your universe, which helps. That's really matters. You know, if you've got juggle to do, you need to coordinate. And then 2, being on this call absolutely sets an intention for the week, because you've already decided to prioritize a little bit of time for you, not your whole weekend, not something super hard, just prioritizing a little time for you, and then setting your week in motion. A little goes a long way. A little goes a really long way. What about in regards to movement or workout stuff? Does anybody have a routine or something that they do on the weekend that helps them be prepared for the week?
Christy, what I do is I think Molly mentioned this on one of another calls that she did, accountability partners. So the week before, I schedule out all my movement. So like tomorrow, I know, Molly and I are walking at 4, and then Tuesday and Friday, I have another walk scheduled. So that helps me keep tabs on my movement targets. So I know on those days I'm not walking with a partner, I have to find something at home or make sure I have something scheduled during the day in my work and focus more on those days on my movement throughout the day to hit those steps.
Mm-hmm. Nicole, I'm so glad you said that, because I think especially when we're trying to prioritize movement, we want to set ourselves up for success, and using an accountability buddy 1000% sets you up for success, because you can just schedule it on Sunday and say, hey, we're going to go walking these days, and both of you aren't going to want to not do it. It works both ways. So that's a really effective strategy. And again, it has to be done in advance. It works best when you kind of pre-scheduled it. The other thing is that if you go to a gym, a lot of gyms these days require like a registration, because they have, caps on the number of people that they can have in class. So if you struggle with going, the best thing you can do is sit down at the beginning of the week and go ahead and register for your classes that you're going to attend before you get a chance to talk yourself out of it. So register for them, put them in your calendar, and then it's going to happen because you've taken the time to do it. But the worst thing that you want to do is wake up in the morning and think, okay, well, I'm going to go, and then the class is full or something, or you're like, I can't register now, I can't find a link, something. So do the exact opposite and go ahead and register. I like it. Good one, Nicole. Really good. I have one that we didn't say. I don't think it counts as prep, but this one counts for me, which is to get my butt in bed on Sunday night. Of all the things, if I screw around on Sunday night, that is a recipe for disaster, because then you wake up Monday morning tired and you're messed up for the whole week. So of all the nights to protect, Sunday night's the one. Go to bed early. The irony of all of this is that the chicken that I'm prepping for the week is in my oven, and the buzzer went off 15 minutes ago, and I've let it continue to cook because we're on here.
Oh my God, go turn your oven off at least.
All right, Leah,
go take it off.
Leah, tag.
I'll talk.
What I was gonna say.
Sorry, go ahead, Leah.
What I do is kind of like what Chrissy said about the sleep. I coach at CrossFit, so I get the perk of seeing the week's workout. And if I go to CrossFit, I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning, and I like to work out with my husband like 2 days a week. So I'll kind of, for lack of a better word, cherry pick the workouts that I'm going to wake up for and sleep in. And if it's a workout on Monday that I'm going to get up for, I have to go to bed early. That's like my number one, because if I don't, I won't work out, and then I'll feel bleh all day and eat crappy and all the things. So sleep's huge for me. And I have to have at least breakfast and lunch figured out. I can shop later, but if I don't have those two things figured out, I'll snack on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for jumping in, Leah. Good news. The chicken is not burnt. Yeah. It may be dry. It's not burnt. Go ahead, Lauren.
So I'm in the camp now of like, just if I make my meal plan, like if I just know what I'm going to eat ahead of time, like writing it down, I have to do my grocery order, and then bedtime routine is my linchpin too. And I've been really slacking on that lately. I have been going to bed before 10, but not turning off all my devices at 8:30 like I used to. And so that's something I need to get back to. But I also was struggling with movement for a while. And so I ended up hiring a trainer who tells me what to do and what days to do it. And so my only thing is like putting it in my calendar. When am I going to do that now? Am I going to put it, am I going to do it first thing in the morning, or am I going to do it, you know, in the middle of the afternoon? Like I have to put it in my calendar and then stick to that meeting and make that a priority, because that's something I really struggled with for a while. So those are my non-negotiables. Those are my basic, like, have to do at least this amount. When I was working full time and coaching and, you know, trying to get my certifications and like all that, I actually like meal prepped all of my meals, boxed them up. So all I had to do was stick them in the microwave. And I did that this past week when we were moving, and it was a game changer. So like it did take extra time at the time, but it also saved me like a ton of stress and energy later in the week. So that's like a major, like not even just prepping it and then having it in big containers, but dividing it up so that I don't even have to take the energy of like taking that scoop of chicken and then this little bit of broccoli and then that rice. Like I have it like in a container, and all I have to do is take it out, stick it in the microwave.
Mm-hmm. I like that, Lauren. I like that you mentioned that, because if you are someone who has to take your food with you, that's like not that time consuming of a step, but it really makes a difference if it's already in a container. I don't even have to go anywhere. And that's what I do with my lunches, just so that I'll actually like go get them and eat them. If they're already in a thing, I will do it. I can say one thing for sure. Of all of the physical transformations that I've seen on bodies, 10 out of 10 of them do some kind of weekend prep. So, I mean, there's not anyone who I've seen has made like dramatic change in their physical body, how they feel, how they look, their strength, their weight, that doesn't do some kind of weekend prep. This is like one of those common threads. And so if you're like, I've never done this before, cool. This is the time you're going to learn it. And we're starting with the most simple thing, which is just picking like 2 or 3 non-negotiables to set you up for the week. So that's your target. Talk to your coach about it. We also have some people who are really good at this inside Fitme. So if you're stumped, not only you can talk to your coach, but, you know, talk inside your Marco Polo group or post in the Facebook group. Feel free to ask questions. We have lots of good resources in our community to help each other. I learn stuff from you guys every single day. It's like one of my perks. And so share and ask questions because it can be really helpful. All right, guys, let's take a quick pick. I'm so happy my chicken didn't burn. That would have been super ironic. Dana, do you have a green screen? That was amazing. Come back with your green screen. What is
Sorry, it was from my stemming event this weekend. My bad. Haven't changed it yet.
It's amazing. Okay. All right, guys, everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. Sweet. All right, squad. Have an awesome week. We'll see you soon. Take care.